Welcome to the 3D Experience demo series. This video will focus on the second chapter of the Traceable Requirements Capture demo, linking requirements to models. At this stage, we have already created the requirement specification, but have no models to assign these requirements to, so this is where we start. The model in this context is not an actual CAD model, but a container that will have all the requirements assigned to it, and later on, links to actual CAD models. Once created, the model is available for requirements to be linked to. Once linked to a model, the requirements are technically referred to as candidate requirements. Much like the requirements revisions, models will be updated and modified throughout the project. And again, with the intention of keeping traceability, the models are to be updated to a new revision rather than just edited. When making revisions, please take note of which item you're working on. Is it the overarching model item or a specific revision of that model? This is distinguished by checking the title block for model or a model version, as can be seen in these images. This new revision carries over the requirement links from the previous revision, but any new or revised requirements must now be linked again. This is done in the same manner as before. We will now go back to our video examples and demonstrate these first 4 steps. Starting at the home page of the Traceable Requirements app, we go to Product Line on the left and select Model Versions. This page now shows a list of all the models that have been created, and to add a new one to this list, we go to Create New Model. On the right-hand side, we now fill in all applicable information for this new model, such as its name, its product line, model prefix, marketing name, etc. Sticking to our case study, we'll create a main beam model and say OK. Our new model now appears in the aforementioned list. The next step was to start linking requirements to this model, and we do so by opening the model and go to Candidate Requirements, and then to the Action button and Insert Existing. "3D Experience" then brings up the search function, and knowing that we're looking for a requirement, it has already selected the requirement type. In one of our earlier videos, we created the main beam's maximum weight requirements and revised it from revision A to revision B. These 2 revisions appear over here, and so we don't need to do any further searches. To start off, we're actually going to use the first revision of our main beam's maximum weight. So we'll select it and say OK. This new added requirement now appears in the list. We now return to the model's homepage by clicking back, and we would now like to create a new version of this model. So we reopen the model, go to Categories, and select Model Versions. Creating a new version, we again go to the Actions menu and say Create Revision. 3D Experience will automatically change the revision from A to B and save the description of A. This therefore needs to be updated, and we will simply say Made changes A, B, and C, and click OK to save the new revision. We now have a revision A and B for our model, and if we go to the tree structure, we can identify models A and B. The 4th step in the process was to relink the applicable requirements. We will therefore open revision B and select Requirements. As before, we now select the Action button and say Insert Existing, and select the second revision of our original requirement. This is revision A, and this is revision B. OK. Referring back to our first video from Traceable Requirements, revision B of the main beam maximum weight requires that each beam weighs less than 30 kilograms. Those 4 simple steps is all there is to linking requirements to models. By the end of Chapter 2 of Traceable Requirements Capture, we have created, detailed, and promoted the requirement specification. Members are able to initiate discussions, issues, and decisions to resolve problems with the requirements, and we have now linked those requirements to the applicable models. But defining the needs is only half the issue. We now move on to the testing phase to confirm that all the final parts do indeed meet the initial requirements. This leads us to test and use cases that will be detailed in the next video.